The nomad female that bought Nomadic Fanatic's old Class C RV? Yep, she's in the shop. She needs some repairs. Geogypsytraveler needs lots of repairs on her Class C RV. The one that she bought from the one and only Nomadic Fanatic. Now, she did buy the old Class C, and granted, now this is a 2001, so things are, they're bound to need attention, correct? Now, that being said, that is the one thing that when people always say, never buy new, always buy used. And, it's you have to take these things into consideration. You have to take these things and keep certain things in mind. And that's why you have to know that, well, first of all, sure, new ones are overpriced, way overpriced, and they're not built that well, in my opinion, anymore. And then the old ones, you have what? Who's been using it? And where did they drive it? And how did they drive it? And did they maintain it? And you don't know. And you have to take all these things into consideration. And yeah, if you have a new one, you're going to pay. You might as well go buy a house, but a house doesn't have wheels. I understand that. But it's not free, cheap, and easy. So if you go the new route, you have to buy this grand, extravagant, even vans. Look, Van City Van Life. He went out and bought a new van, $100,000. Come on. So an RV, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. I can buy houses in my neighborhood for $300,000, $200,000. But the point is, it's not free, cheap, and easy. And well, if you buy a used one, well, yeah, if you buy a used one, now you have these things. It's old, it's used. Things go, things fail. You need to keep these things up. You're going to have repair bills that, well, yeah, you're going to have to repair new ones too, but most of that stuff is covered under warranty. Well, yeah, but then you can't have your RV at your home, and now this thing that you bought, it's stuck in the shop, and it's for, well, hey, that's why it's just one of those things you got to deal. Your house has wheels, well, then you just sit in the parking lot and pretend you're gone. I don't know what to tell you, but there's pros and cons to both. Which one do you want to do? Where do you want to dump your money? Into something new that's going to take a shit and going to have to stay in the shop for 6 months while you get it done for free? Or are you going to buy somebody's used garbage that you're going to have to dump a whole bunch of money into because you don't know how they've taken care of the damn thing? But again, this thing is old. It's a 2001. And, it started to have a wobble when she was driving. And that's a bad thing, but, again, these things happen. It is used. But it was also the fact that it was previously owned by Tater. That means it was packed full all the time. It wasn't, just like on the weekends or whatever, no, everything he owned. And of course, everything, the TVs and the this and the that and the everything. It's just packed full of everything constantly. It was driven hard. He drove it all the time. He never stayed in one spot. And of course, it was Taterized, how he rips things out. Oh, take out the dinette and I'll pang some 2x4s together and make a wall. And how he Taterized everything. And then, of course, obviously, it was loaded with cat hair. Now, again, Geogypsytraveler, besides having a hard time finding a place that will actually work on a Class C RV, that's the other thing about having these RVs. Unless you're taking it back to a dealer or someplace like that, just regular garages that work on, cars and, pickup truck stuff, they don't have bays and lifts and everything capable of picking up these Class Cs, especially ones that are packed to the gill with everything that you own. And which leads to the next thing. As this lady is looking for a place to get this thing fixed and looked at, it's her home. Everything that she owns is in it, and this is where she lays her head, and this is where she calls home. So she has to find a place that will not only fix the thing, but that will allow her to, stay in the parking lot while they're doing whatever. And, so she doesn't have to, rent a car and get a hotel room and all that, which is just another added expense. But hey, it's the free, cheap, and easy life, so it's definitely better than living in a house for sure. Now, when she does finally get the thing into a place where they're going to actually look at it and fix it, there is a long laundry list of things that need done. The RV needs tie rod ends, a stabilizer shot. It needs shocks. Almost all the little rubber bushings and bearings and shit, they're all shot. They're all gone. The bushings are all dry rotted and all kinds of other things. Now, again, I will reiterate, it is a 24-year-old RV, and it was used by a full-time nomad YouTuber that is known for his, shady antics, if I should put it nicely. So you have to take all these things into consideration. To be quite honest, I'm shocked that it lasted this long, that it took this long for things to go awry and, it needed work. And that it just needed a whole bunch of suspension work. I'm surprised it didn't need other things. Because, after all, if you remember, let us not forget how many brake jobs. Remember, Tater would get a brake job done and then go to a different state and need brakes and everything, which just leads you to know that, the thing either had subpar parts put on it or it was loaded to the max. I won't say overloaded, but loaded to the max constantly and driven hard by a full-time nomad. So it's not like they were getting something that was used on the weekends and, the weekend warriors or on vacations or anything and then sat in a garage and everything. No, this thing was used. And again, with the age, and especially things like bushings and stuff, little rubber things, they're going to, and it's in the desert and everywhere else. And it goes from, dry to cold, to wet, to dry, to heat, to all those little rubber parts, they just go to shit. But people don't think about this stuff. All the little nickel and dime thing. Well, the engine's good and the transmission's good. Yeah, but it has all these other little parts that just go to shit over time. Every vehicle. But anyway. But Tater had all these things, with different brake jobs and the transmission issues and other issues that he's had. So when you think about it, and the vehicles that Nomadic Dramatic has had, yeah, I'm very, very, very shocked that this young lady has not had problems sooner. So luck has been on her side. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, you don't have to agree with me. That's never the point here. The point is, yeah, I got this one. This is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.